Hey y'all.
Notice we was
y'all.
ready today. Like we ain't get caught in the middle of nothing.
True. Welcome to the Shine Your Light podcast. I am your host, Lachelle Hooks. Woo, 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 woo. Drop a bomb for my woo, woo, woo. So excited to be here with you guys today. I'm even more excited to introduce some of my friends, some very prominent people that I respect, adore, and admire. And honestly, y'all the squad now. You know what I'm saying?
At this point.
Y'all the crew. Yes. So welcome. Thank you for being here. We first have Ty the Guy, guest co-host in the building.
Yeah.
Holding it
There we
down.
go. One,
I gotta
two.
be I gotta
One
be
more
on my
down.
job. I gotta be on my job. Hold on, one more for Ty the Guy.
All right, there we go. I need all that.
Yeah, we had an amazing show yesterday. So I just want to give a quick shout out to you and just say thank you for, as always, just dropping so much wisdom and knowledge, So
And I'm
thank
thankful
you.
for everybody who were actually on the show too. I
Yeah.
think we all brought something valuable to that show. So that was definitely meaningful. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Shout out to Kenda and Tommy as well. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah. And of course, this beauty over here. Isn't she gorgeous, y'all? She's such a natural beauty. We got Simone in the building. Yes. Hear that soft voice? Yes.
I'll raise you
Love
out.
her. Love her. Y'all is so funny. Y'all are hilarious, y'all. So we're about to get into some great things today. Ty the Guy, what are we getting into today?
Today we're going to get into expectations of dating, especially in the
plenty.
modern day.
And I because I got none.
Well, okay, so I guess we shouldn't have expectations of the people, right? But we do have expectations of God. That's true. Because one thing I have learned in my journey of learning so much is to raise the bar, right?
Yeah.
You got to have certain qualifications to get certain jobs. Why wouldn't you have to have certain qualifications?
I agree with that.
Date a girl, date a sister. You know what I'm saying? So drop a bomb for that. All right. So who's starting it off? Ty the Guy, what's going on?
Let me start it off since we're going into expectations, right? Because I would love to hear some of the expectations y'all have. So that was great for you to have that topic. Starting off with the first question.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's get right into it.
My heart started beating fast.
Right into it.
Oh, Lord.
What are some things you require of a man before entering into a relationship?
I should have brought my pen, Lord. I forgot my pen. Simone, I'm going to hand that on over to you.
All right. I actually have to really think about these questions because I really haven't been thinking about these questions. Repeat it one more time.
Yeah, repeat it.
What are some things? You can name 2, 3 things. It can even be one main thing that's meaningful to you that you require from a man before entering into a relationship.
Okay. First and foremost, they definitely need a connection with God. I know it's kind of hard in this day and age to know the genuality of it, but if I have a connection with God, I expect, for God to either tell me, hey, yeah, or hey, no, in that type of situation.
That's good.
But if you're going to lead me, you definitely need to be following Jesus.
Right. You got to put a specific name. Yeah.
Specifically, because anybody can be your God,
That's
and
a
I
fact,
need him to be Jesus.
So that. The clarity for me.
Definitely. So you need to be following Jesus, of course, in your walk with Christ. I would say, and runner up to that, a well-rounded man. as far as in all of your hats that you wear in the day. So
I
a
love that.
well-rounded,
I
whether
never
you're
heard that
I
before.
a
love
boss,
Yeah, I
that.
never heard that
like
before. Yeah.
whether you're a boss, whether you're a father, whether you're, obviously if we're dating,
Mhm.
like a son, as far as family, like you need to be well-rounded, because you need to have that balance.
That's dope. Yeah.
So that's
Yes.
definitely top two. The rest following up, I think it's like it really depends. Because I feel like if you have those top two, the rest will follow.
No.
So I'm gonna stick with that.
So let's
I
dive a
love
little.
that. Keep diving.
Yeah, I want to dive a little deeper into that, like in the background, right? So you have those requirements of today, right? And I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that those wasn't the requirements back then, right?
Right.
When you were in the process. So
Mhm.
what was some of the experiences that led up to that change in your
Oh.
requirements?
So kind of actually what we were talking about a little bit before this, it's like I ran into a lot of projects.
Hmm.
I ran into a lot of like, okay, maybe he's not into like church as much as I am, but like I'm going and he likes me, so like maybe he should go because he likes me. And like you just get caught up in it's somebody's gonna pull somebody. Either he's gonna pull me to not go, or I'm gonna pull him to go, and then it's like a fight. And I don't want to have to do that. I've also ran into a lot of well, with this, I guess this experience wasn't necessarily me dating. It was just kind of me being raised. So I was raised with my father, who was very imbalanced with me growing up. So he was more like church mindset, religion mindset than he was like father, friend,
Like family,
husband. Yeah. So we got a lot of, hey, I can come and ask him a religious question, but if I just want to have a conversation about this guy that I like, or I just want to have a conversation about school, it's like no communication there. So that's kind of where I got the real well-roundedness from. But yeah, I say a lot of my experiences were projects. That's pretty much my way of summing it up.
Right.
Me trying to change them or trying to get them to grow was a problem. So I've learned I don't need to be the one to do that. You need to already be on your journey to do that. And yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely in today's age have a lot of projects, as we call them, because of kind of like the modern day. We became more selfish in our emotions, in oftentimes like in our decision making. We've done things that was outside of thinking about anybody else around us. And you being a person that was around me, you can attest to this, that like 5 years when I was in my hurt, I wasn't considering the people that were around me. I was just going off of how I was feeling, and it was affecting a lot of people around me. And God had to sit me down to be like, no, they're in it with you. Now they're may not be getting hit as much as you, but because they're in the house and it's an earthquake, now you may have all of your belongings in and it's going to affect you the most, but they're still in, and it affects them just as in a sense that because they love you, and because they see the toll that it's taking, it affects them emotionally. So it caused me to actually be more mindful about that. So
Can I ask y'all a question? Only because, we're talking about those imperfections and those projects, and we know for the most part, nobody's perfect for the most part, right? So, but we also know, like you just said, you were in a space where you wasn't in the best mindset at that time, right? But now here you are, a complete whole man, and you're not operating the same way.
Right.
So at what point, as we're gauging these people, dissecting these people, deciphering, how much energy we should give them, like how much grace and all, at what point do we determine, if we should stay or if we should go? You know what I'm saying? In those instances, what do y'all think? I'm just curious,
With on my end, that's why I said a lot of the choice making definitely needs to be God centered.
Yeah.
Because even in that, like women naturally, well, I'm not gonna say that because in today's age that's not true.
Women naturally
but
submit to
I'm going
leaders.
to change the word a little bit, or
Okay.
change the scenario a little bit. So a woman who's after virtue and dwelling in her femininity,
Yeah.
naturally is going to exude wanting to help wanting to nourish, wanting
Yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying, push
Yeah.
you forward, help you grow, things of that sort.
Right.
So that's why I feel like it's very important to have the communication with God,
Mhm.
because I need to know if this is someone worth me doing that with.
Right. And not
Like,
depleting you.
yeah, because
Right.
I
Right.
understand, like, if you're not in a space right now to where you're that,
Right.
but for you to even have a mindset to want to be that is
Right.
something I need to know.
Right.
And if you're not in that space, then it's not worth me giving my energy to, because it's never going to change.
So the number one thing for that, the center thing for that, like we all kind of keep saying, is having that individual relationship with God and
Mhm.
allowing God to guide you to those God bonds,
Mhm.
you know, regardless of what you always say this, everyone is at different levels in their journey, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
Right.
The question is where they're headed. You know what I'm saying? What direction are they going? What is their desire? You know what I'm saying? Where do they desire to be at the end of the day?
Mhm.
Some people don't want to fool with God at all. They don't want to be, they're very selfish, and they're
Mhm.
okay with that because of their hearts are hardened, you
Right.
know. So that's good. We're gonna allow, we're gonna have that relationship with God, and that's what's gonna help us to determine, where we should be with, who we should be with.
Right.
Amen. That's good. Okay, keep going, y'all. I'm just listening.
I would say from a standpoint of because she brought God into the equation, I agree with that. And the second thing for me would have been consistency. If this person has always proven right to be consistent in effective decision making, effectiveness in how they move in their emotions, and it has
That's
always
good.
proven to consider me, I'm leaving room for you to, have that moment. I call it to be in a state of limbo. I'm giving you room of that. Now it depends on at that point how consistent that overshadows, what you've been doing, because oftentimes, even when someone is in that type of state of limbo, you can still consider or be mindful at times, the effect that it's having on the people around you. So how are you handling this situation? That is important. So I would take it in that sense. It's like consistency and then execution. And I'm perfectly fine with giving you that room for you to grow and have space. One of the scriptures in the Bible says, specifically to husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in that is patience, because of the fact that you're going to have things that they're not going to think about because they're in a state of emotion that's kind of taking them outside of the logic behind what they should do or need to be doing. You may know because you're operating in where you should be operating in, and God is saying dwell with them, be patient with them to get them there, and in your patience, you can have an effect on their outcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Thank you for your patience, Ty.
And we're gonna get back on you though. You ain't ducking that question.
I think we
from
can
earlier.
both contest to the fact, myself and Simone, that Ty the guy has been very prevalent in our growth process. He's been an amazing influence on both of us. So just sincere, thank you to you for your patience, and for being just a great leader and a great mentor.
He makes me set the bar high.
He does. And the more that I learn to listen, the higher that bar is set.
Mhm.
We should value ourselves.
Yeah.
We should have our self-love. Y'all should have y'all self-love,
Mhm.
men and women. Raise that bar high, but don't just raise it high, come up to it, ourselves as
standard,
well,
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
y'all definitely do that for me. So drop a bomb for that. Surround yourself with people that you admire, Lord. So thank you. Okay, next question.
Let's spin the block.
This is my third time trying to get out of this question.
We ain't doing that.
Oh my goodness, y'all be trying. I was, defense.
Repeat it so she know.
Go ahead, repeat the question, Lord. What was the question?
I asked 100 people.
I'm the one that asked the question at the table.
I asked 100 people.
Ain't
What are
nobody
some
got time.
things you require from a man before entering into a relationship?
Right. So number one thing, like Simone said, of course, is having a relationship with the Father, with God, our Lord and Savior, who sent his only begotten Son to die for our sins. That is number one. For the simple fact, if you, thank you. production. No, for the simple fact
Right.
that if you know me personally, you know that I give my all to my hubby wubby, and typically, to the people around me as well, my friends and my family, but especially to my hubby wubby. So I need him to be following God in order for me, to trust him to lead, because I feel like men are supposed to be in that place as men. And when they don't feel, when they're not in that position, when they're not in that place, like they almost feel less than, and I never want my hubby wubby to feel less than. I want to give him everything that his wife, his queen, that one woman should be giving him. So I need to trust him and respect him as such. So that is first and foremost what I need him to be following the Father, right? Doesn't mean he's not going to make mistakes, none of that. Look, Ty.
Now that we got the political correct answer out the way, let's really dive into that.
I've never been a person that required like finances, but I do require, that sense of like persevering and like to, a person that tries and puts forth effort, is on the grind, is like really like, can't think of the word for it at this time, Lord, but it's really like putting forth effort to provide for their family, to provide for themselves. They're not being lazy, they're not being complacent. They're really, what is the word for it, Jesus? I can't think of it. They're just go-getters,
Right. Ambitious.
Ambitious. There we go. Ambitious. Thank you, Lord. See, that's why you're the co-host. Amen.
I got a question for you, so I'll let y'all.
But the reason why I say that and why I've never like required a man that's making a certain amount, because for one, I know who I am and we can get it. If we work together, if he has those tools, those fundamental tools that are needed, we can make sure that we're partners and can provide for our family together. I've never been a woman that was like, I need to be kept. Now, I know what God told me, and I know what he told me how my husband is going to be. But that's because of, I guess that's because of the heart that I have. I don't require that. I'm not looking at what's in a man's pocket, in order for that to be a qualification if he's going to be my man or not. I'm looking at what's in his heart. I'm looking at how he treats people, his relationship with his mother, I'm saying, his relationship with the women around him. If he has a daughter, his relationship with his daughter, his friends. That's what matters to me. He has to be very respectful. He can't be, I dated a man once. He was talking about everybody. He introduced me to him. Then he was talking about everybody behind their back. Like, this is not, that can't be it. So someone just very respectful, very, just a man of integrity, a man of honor. I'm attracted to a man that gives a good speech, Lord. You know what I'm saying? A man that can teach me something. I'm attracted to that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. My follow up behind what y'all said, and it's kind of something that you said, right? In terms of somebody, that you're going to give your all to, right? And you just need to know that he's following Christ first.
I need to be safe with him.
So the question in that is that, do you believe that you give 50% or 100% before entering into a marriage?
Oof. Simone, you want to?
I know you first. You tried to duck the last.
Because I hear a lot of women say, like, well, I'm not going to give, and I heard older women tell a lot of younger women, like, don't give them the whole cow, and all this thing. So
I'm gonna go off live for this one.
Tune in.
So if I'm being honest, before now, before the today, Lachelle, I absolutely would give my all. I definitely was treating, the men, that I was in a relationship with as if they were my husband. Absolutely. Would I do that now? No, I would not do that now. I would treat them like they're my best friend. And typically for me,
what do that entails, though? To say I'll treat them as my best friend, right?
Like,
what do that entails?
Like spending time together, quality time together, me really seeing who they are as a person, as a man. I do love to cater, so I'm definitely going to cater to my friend.
In what ways?
Like cook for them.
Okay.
I might give, so you got to be careful with a touchy-feely But I would want to, give someone that I see in that light and I see potential for a back rub,
Okay.
but I also, where I am now, I want to pray with my man. I want to study with my man. I could tell you a story though, and I don't want to get off topic, but I could tell you a story of a minister that I was dating, that I was praying with, and that I was reading the Bible with, and he was not what he presented himself to be. But time
Mhm.
would have revealed all of that. And time did eventually reveal all of that. So no matter what the title is, and no matter, no matter what we're doing, I do believe we still have to take our time. But at the same time, God never gave me confirmation for him either,
Right.
So yeah. And I also learned that God gives you what you ask for. If you ask him to reveal, seriously, not always in your time, but in his time. But if you ask him to reveal somebody to you, he will. He has done that for me every single time. Every single time. So yeah, I wanna read and study with my man and all that good stuff. Spend time with him, my friend. You know,
Okay.
Simone.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go from back then too. Back then, I was taught to give not everything. It's the whole thing of like, well, why, like you said, like why give him everything? Then it's like he has nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I would say from me going through my growth, my answer now would be 100%. Reason being is I feel as though I've gotten to a state where if I even let you get that far to the dating stage, then that means that I have to see myself with you. Like who you are at that point. I see myself marrying you. I see myself being with you forever. So if I see that from you, then at that point, not to say it's a competition, but women outnumber men nowadays. So if I see myself being with you, I'm going to give you 100% what you have to look forward to, what you have, in store. So that way, that I am capable of doing this and this and this, and I'm capable of being your wife. And in return, I expect you to give me 100% as well, because I feel like if we're in a relationship and we're looking to, be together forever, that we're willing to give that amount of energy into the relationship and that amount of energy into moving forward. That, obviously I want to end in marriage. So I would say now my response would be 100%. I had that mentality
Which
a
one,
lot.
girl?
That 50%.
Yeah, the
It's not
50%.
50,
but
yeah,
I feel like
It's
the
50.
50.
If it ain't
I feel
100,
like
it's less. Than
yeah,
that.
I feel like my 50% came from fear though.
It's
And I'm
protection.
it's
I'm
like
very protective
I'm
of
afraid
myself
that
now.
like this is gonna happen again. But I had to realize with myself too that my 50%, a lot of that came from me feeling like I wasn't capable of choosing too. Because I feel like if I'm like 100% confident in choosing to date you,
Right.
then I should be 100%, confident in giving you myself. But that's it personally.
Now, I want to clarify though, because I am in a space of celibacy right now, so
Mhm.
I ain't doing not a nan nothing.
Oh yeah, no, that excludes that.
So okay,
That's
I just
excluding
wanna
that.
Just give that clarity to the people.
Yes,
So just
no.
give yourself as a partner.
Yeah,
Give
biblically,
your heart,
biblically,
but not-
100%, guys.
Yes. Okay. I got you. I love that.
Nice way to clean that up.
Yeah.
I did. Get that clarity, Lord. Get that clarity, Jesus.
And I believe that is important to understand, for men to understand, because and I know in the Bible there's a scripture that says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? And we take it and we run with it, because we believe that we find a good thing in terms of our choice, right? But it's really not predicated off our choice, it's predicated off of the woman. The Bible speaks about two things when it comes to wives. You have the foolish wife and you have a virtuous wife. The Bible speaks about how when you marry that foolish woman, you are in for a headache, distress, distraction.
Yes, Lord.
That's
She
not
will
worth.
break a man.
Yeah, that's not worth it. The Bible says she can tear her house down with her bare hands.
Yep.
So everything you're trying to build or have built, she can just tear it down in an instant, right?
Mhm.
And then you have the virtuous wife, but that was a wife before she even became a wife. She was who
Yes.
she was. She walked in her essence. She walked in her virtue. So when he married her, he was delighted. He was blessed. The Bible say, "Happy is the man, right? Blessed is the man, right? Who finds that type of virtue in a woman."
Mhm.
Because you don't deal with the complications, you don't deal with the stress, you don't deal with the headaches, because she got it. She know what it takes, right? And that's before you marry her. So when you do marry her, you find a wife. Therefore, you find a good thing. And that was the difference between the
Love
understanding of
it.
that scripture. So I asked that because I don't think a lot of women even in that mentality today, in terms of let me be who I supposed to be now. So when I am, like how you said, he knows that I'm capable, right, of doing the X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And that's important to know. So I do appreciate y'all for
Yeah.
sharing that.
I was
I
gonna
love
say,
that.
in today's age too, just to piggyback off what you were saying, like there's a lot of like, I'm wifey material, right? But if you're like wifey material, not to throw shots, I'm gonna be
Talk
very
about
bold.
Talk about
If
it.
you're wifey material, you should be married, right? Like, you're wifey material, so there's no reason why you shouldn't have gotten wives by now.
Well,
And that's how
no.
I think about it.
Because you a wife.
That's how I think about it. I don't believe I'm a wife.
You are a wife. I don't
I
believe
believe
you've met
I
the
still
right
have
person
things
yet.
to think about and work through personally.
Okay, you know yourself
Um,
better than I do, but sometimes,
I know what you're saying
but
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes we see it, before that person does. People
Mhm.
see things in me all the time, before I may have seen it in myself.
Yeah, I
But
get that.
girl, yeah, the outline is there.
Thank you,
She's
thank
definitely
you.
on that virtue
She
journey, and it
is.
shows, and
Yes.
that's
You
why I was telling you,
exude
other
it.
people can see it,
You
although you
exude
may
it, queen.
cannot see it fully yet.
Thank you.
You exude it.
But that's what I'm
Okay.
looking for, y'all. I'm looking for somebody who's it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to see that in you, and I want to be able to know, like I said, that okay, if me and you were to get together right now, how we are, that it would still work because of the fact that we're on our own journeys of becoming who we need to be. And in turn, like I said in some of the other shows, I want to be who I'm supposed to be, so
Yeah.
you don't have an excuse.
Right.
So you can't say, oh, well, you were this or you did this. No, I'm who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work, or you know what I'm saying, if this isn't what you want, this just isn't what you want.
I like that. I like that. And, I think some people, I'll say that. I think some people put on a kind of like a facade or a mask, to obtain a person, and then
Mhm.
their real qualities kind of come out.
Mhm.
I want my hubby wubby to be absolutely in love with who I am
Mhm.
authentically, and then honestly, when we're walking in the type of space that we're walking in,
Mhm.
it's going to get better and better.
Right.
There won't be any decline, especially not
Mhm.
when you're walking with God, so higher
Mhm.
heights, higher
Mhm.
heights, y'all. So yeah. Oh, no more questions from Ty.
No, I got some more, but I'm gonna
Because
let you get
making
into a
me
few of
really,
yours.
like really
Think about
I
it.
did, yeah, identify some things. That's the purpose of the show, Toe. No, because I'm
I
the one
told
supposed to be
you.
asking
She
the
always be
questions,
trying to
so I don't
run,
have
huh?
to think about
Like today they finna get
nothing.
this work.
Jesus, but I'm not dating anyone. I'm dating 0 people, not a
Okay.
one.
To- yeah.
Yeah, I guess,
Mhm.
to identify certain things, absolutely. But I am super protective over myself because of what I've gone through.
Yeah.
I
And it's
said I was
okay to
the
be.
poster baby
Yeah.
for trauma,
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So-
and it's okay to be protective over yourself.
Yeah.
There's just it's certain things that you learn.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't something that I just woke up one day and was just like, yeah, we're gonna go this route. Like, this was all a process of, going through mistakes and situations and situationships, and it's
Yeah.
like you get to a point
Me too,
of
sister.
understanding.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it starts to just roll in. Like, a lot of times I work with a lot of like young like preteens and teens,
Yeah.
and with a lot of them I tell them all the time, like, what you're looking for today is not where you're gonna be looking for when you're older.
That's true.
So a lot of times you're like, oh, I want to marry someone who's this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, it's like the list gets shorter, but it gets
Those
more
things
meaningful.
don't even matter no more.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the things that do are super prevalent. Okay.
And just to add in what you were saying, right, in terms of the protectiveness, right? Because there's nothing wrong with it. The Bible says,
Mhm.
guard your heart, right?
As we
Yeah.
should.
Now let's dive in a little bit deep into that scripture, because I believe that most people use it when they are in a traumatic sense, opposed to what God is really saying.
Mhm.
When God says guard your heart, he's saying guard the things, right? Because you're not going to be able to control the experience. You're going to have experiences that's going to affect you, right? But you can control the effect that it has on you.
Yeah.
So when he says guard your heart, he's speaking about the effect. The
Right.
poison can only kill you, right? If you're not
Mhm.
enacting or invoking the cure.
Yes,
So you need to do what you
God.
have to do to guard your heart, to
Mhm.
guard yourself, your soul. So definitely.
Have a bomb for that. Bomb. Is the bomb working, Jesus? It's working. And I just want to, kind of point out, thank you for that, co-host Tyler guy, but I want to kind of point out, I think a lot of women, not even just young women, but women are at that space right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming to that realization, and they're ready to do things differently.
Yeah.
So I think this is the definitely the podcast for them. I'm definitely also hearing a lot of women, and don't get mad at me, y'all. Don't get mad at me. But I'm hearing a lot of women talk about how they gonna be the man this summer.
Mm.
They gonna be the negro this summer, okay? And that's not the way to go.
Right.
That is allowing the poison to get you. Why become what hurt you in the first place? That's basically like the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So the
Yeah.
enemy came to beat you up and to hurt you, and did all this stuff to you, cheated on you, and all this and that, right? That happened. And so instead of you ending the cycle, instead of you going on your healing journey, now you've become that. Now you've been recruited in that
Right.
sense. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we don't want y'all to do that. Don't be the man this summer. Be you. And continue to go after, you know, what you want to be and who you want to be. And the person that you're supposed to be with is going to find you. The person that has those traits that you desire, they're going to find you, when you're in that healed space. They're not going to find you out here trying to be the man.
Right.
That's not what we want y'all
Because a lot
to
of
do.
men ain't looking for men. I'm just going.
Absolutely. Drop a
I ain't
bomb
looking
for
for no
that.
man.
Simone said that on the show. Yeah.
Ain't
So I
no
just want to
man.
point that out, that I'm gonna be the man in summer mindset. Throw that in the trash. That is not the way to go, ladies. That is not the way to go.
Then
So,
when you're ready to settle down and you're stuck in your mindset, now you have to try to get unstuck.
yeah.
And then now you feel like you're this phenomenal type of woman because you feel like that mind of being a phenomenal woman is still there, and it's not. It's
Right.
lost.
Yeah. That's true.
I learned that life is about unlearning more than it is learning.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It
Like,
is.
Lord, I had to unlearn a lot of things.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Well, see, me, I wasn't taught nothing. I wasn't. My mom wasn't taught nothing, so I wasn't taught nothing. So I wouldn't say I had to unlearn anything, because I had to teach myself everything. So I just had to get around people that knew something. I had to get around good people and people of God. Because we weren't taught not a nan nothing. My sister can contest to that. Thank God she got around some really good people, and she has her church family that she's had for years. And God is bringing great people into my life as well to help guide me along the way on the journey. But yeah, I had to unlearn. I had to learn.
But would you
learn
say
some
that
stuff.
you adopted a lot of qualities that wasn't good for you
Environmental.
as a person, right?
Yeah.
Based on those experiences that you experienced without being taught. So that means that you had to experience them to know or learn, right?
So for me, I was always a product of my environment.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But it wasn't that I had to unlearn it necessarily. I just had to get away from them.
Mhm.
I had to, as soon as I got away from them, it's almost like that dropped off. Whatever that habit was, once I got away from them, it kind of, it dissipated. So I guess you can
Yeah.
certainly say that. But for me, like, I was always literally a product of my environment for sure, because they were saying this was the way to go. So I was like, okay, I guess this is the way to go, but the way that they were going caused harm. And I really need people to look at that. and think that through. You know, the
Mhm.
people that you're around, the friends that you're around, your environment, you know, what is it causing? Look back on it. 2 years, 5 years, look
Mhm.
back on it. What has it caused you? Has it caused you to elevate? You know, has it caused you to physically look older than you are? You know, has it caused you stress? Has it caused you physical harm or, you know, health issues? You
Mhm.
know, a lot of people have beautiful voices, but they're smokers, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, smoking is bad or good. I'm not saying
It's bad.
I'm not saying any of
I'm
that,
gonna say it is
Lord.
bad.
I'm not saying any of that, but you put yourself, I'll say this, you put yourself in a situation where you're stressed out, right?
Mhm.
The enemy could be doing something to cause you that stress, right? But the actual harm that you're doing to the body to cause you to relieve that stress or alleviate that stress, you're doing that to yourself.
Mhm.
You know, if God gave you that beautiful gift of your singing voice, you're harming that yourself. The enemy's not harming that. The enemy gave you the stress,
Mhm.
but now your actions are causing, you know, the harm, and that's the enemy's goal, you know, to get you in that position where you're doing self-harm. You know, we have to identify that, like pull the trickery off, pull the, you know, the cover off of the enemy's tricks. Like we're doing harm to ourselves. The enemy ain't doing nothing to us.
We are
We
our
are
worst enemies.
enemies,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
we have to find other ways to resolve those feelings, you know, other ways that are not smoking, that are not excessive drinking, you know, that's not going to a man or going to a woman, you know, other ways, you know, like
Mhm.
meditating,
Yeah.
like therapy, like being around really good friends, you know, like eating some really good vegan tacos.
Just sound like shells.
Yes, Lord. Come to Shells. We're going to open a restaurant one day, Lord, in Jesus' name. Come to Shells. See how I got them off topic? I ain't got to answer no questions.
No, you answered that question.
Oh,
Which lead me into this question first, and then I ask the second question.
okay.
Do y'all still believe in soulmates? And if you do or don't, right? If you do, how do you identify them as a soulmate? And then if you don't, why don't you believe in soulmates anymore?
Ooh,
Who wants to go first?
that's a deep question.
Because I do I believe in soulmates. I believe God has ordained someone for me to be with.
Mm.
So I guess I would consider that my soulmate. But at the same time, my question is there more than one? That's my question. Is there more than one? Um,
Do you believe there's more than one?
I don't know.
Because what's the point of a soulmate if you have more than one? Why
But
not be
but what
polygamous?
if that soulmate isn't walking? But what if they didn't choose God? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know
Then
if
would they
it's
be counted as a soulmate?
Or a
Because
lesson.
that's the point. Like, of what's your
so
what is a soulmate? How do you
so then
identify
they
one?
wouldn't become a soulmate technically in
Mm.
that case until they got into position in that case, right? But God knew they were going to get in position before birth, right? So technically, I guess it could be a soulmate. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going?
I'm a little bit in the middle about it
Okay.
because I believe that. Sorry, y'all. I'm a babe in Christ, so help me out.
Queen in the kingdom.
Help me out.
Do
Okay.
you believe in soulmates first?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say I believe that some people have soulmates, others don't. They just kind of choose.
Mhm.
Reason being, let me remember. Let me remember.
Take your time.
Reason being is so
You think people are kind of like partnering and
well, like for example, man. Okay, you just gonna have to try to help me out because I know there was a lesson on this. It's blanking right now. So I'm just gonna explain myself. So reason being, right? Say that you are an evangelist. Evangelists are the ones that travel, correct?
Mhm.
Say you're an evangelist
Or missionaries.
or
yeah.
missionary.
Yeah,
There we go.
both.
Let's use
Okay.
missionary. Say you're a missionary And God knows that you have the desire to be with someone. You have the desire to have a wife. Because a missionary is a guy, right?
Mhm.
So you have the desire to be with a wife.
Or a woman, it don't matter, missionary.
Yeah. Or a woman. So say you desire to have a spouse, a husband or a wife, and you meet someone who is a pastor, but they're just, they just have their church in, one spot.
Mhm.
How is that going to work? It's kind of how I'm viewing it. So it's like, although it could work, it's going to be a little bit of static because of everything that goes into a marriage.
Right.
So how I'm viewing it is like a soulmate would be someone who is lining up with
Your purpose.
your purpose and your purpose
that's good.
in your life and your
That's
destiny.
good.
Because if you're stationed in Texas and they're stationed in New York,
Mhm.
how is that going to coincide?
And
So that's why I feel like some people, because the Bible also talks about, like, the Bible also talks about choosing to be married as well, and the hardships that comes behind it. So from that passage, which, like I said, helped me out, from that passage, I more so took it as some people have a choice and some people are destined. So like some people have that soulmate who is destined to be with you specifically so that y'all can carry out a purpose, versus others who are, they just choose to be together because they want someone.
Yeah.
That's powerful, because I do believe God told me, whoever my husband is, that that there's like a purpose for that union, that we're gonna bless everyone around us. I definitely God absolutely told me that.
So do you believe in soulmates?
And you already asked me this question.
No, you ain't answered it either.
I know, I'll be dancing around.
You try to run. I'll get right back to
I'll
it.
be dancing around it, Lord. Yeah, I need to do my little buttons. So I believe, that's a really good song. You ever heard that song?
Don't bob with
That
us.
is
Don't bob with us. Right. Don't bob with us.
It's my season.
We
I
need to
believe
hear
that
this.
God has somebody specific for me. Absolutely. I do. I believe God has someone specific for me. Yeah.
So you believe in soulmates?
Yes, Lord.
Okay. Now, how do you identify that?
Wow, I complicate things that shouldn't be complex.
Because you didn't want to answer.
I know, because he makes you like make it concrete. Yeah,
But that's why I said he sets the bar high,
Yeah, he
because
does.
then now me going into the dating pool,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now I just thought of all of this, and y'all need you to line up with all of this.
Yeah. And plus your words are so powerful. Like once you put it out there, like that's my belief. Like once you put it out there, like it's out there. You're speaking on it, you're standing on it. So yeah, I believe in soulmates. You know what I'm saying? God got somebody for me.
So how do you identify that?
Right. He's gonna ask a tough question. Let's get back to the original question.
Jesus. Okay, so I will go into the spiritual side of things again, because I believe. I told you, I know God told me this. Like nobody can tell me that God didn't tell me this. He said that I'm going to like feel it spiritually. I'm going to feel a spiritual connection that I've never felt before. It's super powerful. Not only am I going to feel it, he said it so clear. I heard him. Not only am I going to feel it, everybody else around us is going to feel it as well. So that's the first thing. That's like one thing that I've been like waiting for. And I don't believe I've, met my husband yet. I don't know though. I don't know, Jesus. And then carnally, I would say, like you said, that things kind of line up. But also he's going to be elevating me in the spirit. He's going to be elevating me holistically. He's going to feed my spirit and make me better. And it's not going to be like in this arrogant sense, like some people are. But he's just going to have a heart out for God. He's gonna have a heart out for God, and it's just gonna be good. Everything's gonna flow. It's gonna be easy. It's not gonna have to be something that we got to push together, Lord. So I ain't had that yet. I don't know.
So my opinion basis on that, because I believe it's so important. I've been involved with women in terms of like you're my soulmate. I'll be like, what is a soulmate?
We talked about that though. A
Mhm.
lot of times, I think it's because they see that you have, and honestly, I feel like any woman would with you. They see that you have these qualities of a great man, these qualities that they're probably going to see in their husbands. Doesn't mean you're their husband, but they're going to have those, their husband's going to have those qualities.
I don't believe that anybody is born a soulmate. I believe that people become that, like, because you have to grow into it.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I meet you, and because we're clicking right now, you're my soulmate. Because a lot of people prematurely, determine that.
Right.
If you look at a lot of matured married couples, they always identify the fact that this person knows me inside out, right? To where I don't even have to say much, but they know, right? At this point, there's something that they set a foundation upon, and they built from there. So they became soulmates for one another. It's kind of like how the more that you know that individual, right, without that individual telling you much, but it's just the essential things that you kind of notice and take on, is more that you become more for that individual, that is beneficiary. And it's just a blessing that if you both are on the same page about that, rather than it's like one-sided. When I hear a woman say, you're my soulmate, right? And then I ask them, like, why do you believe that? They name all these things that I can get them, right? You can get me here. You can do this for me. All I just heard is that you just want to take everything from me.
What can they do for you?
Right. It's what it's like. You're just about to take everything. You don't say that I have to offer. That serves me nothing. Like, right. So, and again, in that sense, I ask that because I believe that it's important in today's age that we understand what a soulmate really is. And it's not never before you, or when you first meet somebody, or before you meet them, and this person just destined for you. No, that person becomes that soulmate for you, as vice versa. You become that soulmate for them. And that's an overtime thing.
So I know for me, just about every single man that I've ever dated, we were friends first. But I've never dated all of my friends, you know what I mean? But the men that I have dated and was in a relationship with, we was absolutely friends first, right? So just say that you dated someone like that, where that all of their previous relationships they were friends first with. Would you kind of question their male or female friends in that instance? Or, what if y'all were friends first? Would you kind of question that?
No.
Okay.
Reason being is that's my whole purpose of being who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
Because if I am this elevated, virtuous woman, then I imagine if you're choosing to date me or you're choosing to be with me, that you see all of that in that.
Okay.
So, if you see someone else who happens to be your friend as well, who you feel like has those qualities, or who you feel like you could see yourself with, then in my opinion, then that is who you will choose.
Right.
And I'm completely okay with that.
I love that. Look at that. Listen to the maturity.
I'm completely okay with that because, like I said, if I am who I am supposed to be, which that's why I strive so hard to be who I need to be. Yeah. Because if I am who I'm supposed to be and you are meant to be with me, then we're good. We're moving forward, whether we were friends first or not.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. But if you see there's another friend that you have that you want to experiment or experience that with, then that is who you will be with. And I'm just not for you. And I'm fine with that.
Amen. Drop another bomb. I want everybody to do what they want to do. My husband is going to want to do the right things. Amen. He's going to want to do it with me.
I was going to piggyback off of something you said earlier, as far as someone being your soulmate. I was going to say I forget, it was definitely a family member, an older family member, but I forget who it was. But they were talking about how basically the older you get, the more you evolve, the more that you change. So being in a marriage, like you said, them being in a successful marriage and them saying like, hey, this person knows me in and out. That means that they had to have grown together throughout that whole time.
Mhm.
So if I said, hey, my favorite color is red, and then one day I shifted and now my favorite color is purple, you have to evolve with me to
Mhm.
get to that point.
Yeah.
Or if I say, hey, I like this, and now this day I don't like this, but you still know that, you have to evolve with me. So
Yeah.
I think that's very important in, like you said, growing into being a soulmate as well, because it's like you guys are growing and elevating together and
Right.
you're moving in sync.
Right.
And that's what makes a soulmate. Yeah.
Drop a bomb for that.
And notice that in that movement that the person is important to one another. So you're not spending time on what this person isn't doing for you or providing for you, because you focused on their needs and they're focused on your needs. And that's the biggest thing. And God had to check me on that when I was married, because it got to a point where I was like all right, I'm focused on her needs, but it's like, okay, I ain't getting reciprocated nothing, but that wasn't the season for that. I had to leave room for her growth, and I had to deal with her according to knowledge, so I choose otherwise in my logic. It was my logic versus my faith.
Mhm.
And I choose to go with my logic. It's the reason why I disappointed him the way that I did,
That's
but
all right. Thank God for grace.
definitely. And he had forgiven me. I forgave myself, and,
Right.
I moved on from it, which is why I know to be more wise, in that decision, because I understand now what comes with it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a complicated thing. But like how you said earlier, he said that there are some people that's born for it and was made for it to handle it. And then you have some who's not. So he told me that I was. So that's why I'm actually in that field, to continue to pour into myself to be ready for when that time comes.
Amen. I don't even know if it am I asking the question.
Don't go on the road when yet.
I won't. I won't. I don't.
That's I think that you should do that in a different show, because that's a broad thing.
It is broad. It is. I think we can go
Take some
different
light.
ways with that. Okay. Is it okay to communicate with an ex while you're in a relationship? Or is it okay to be friends with them, I should say? The reason why I asked this is because on the 15th, of course, one of my exes is coming on the show. He's actually a relationships counselor. He's also a personal trainer as well. Trains mind, body, all that good stuff, wellness. So just curious, what do you guys, think about that? I think it takes a lot of maturity. My personal opinion. I'm not friends on Facebook with any of my exes. I'm not friends on Facebook with this ex. Me and his sister are really good friends, so that's how we're in communication. I do think it's very mature, just like Tommy said on the show yesterday, for him to get along with, to maintain a business with his ex. And a thriving business at that. So I think it takes a lot of maturity. We have to co-parent for those who have kids and stuff. So, but as far as having a friendship with them, I don't know about that.
Well, is it maintaining friends? I'm going to break it down in two. So
Let's
is it
get it.
maintaining friends along with co-parenting, or maintaining friendship?
Keep it outside of kids.
Okay, keep it
For
outside of
this
kids. Okay, I was
particular
going to say, because with
example,
kids,
it's
100%.
Yeah.
But okay, so keep it outside of kids. I don't see anything wrong with it, but like you said, it does have to be a mature factor. It has to be a mutual agreement
and boundaries for sure.
So if one person is still feeling the other person, then that's definitely a road that you do not need to go down, because that means that they will never respect your boundary.
Right.
But if it's literally a mutual factor of, hey, we just didn't work out, we just weren't for each other, and that's okay. Remain in your boundaries.
Right.
But I don't see anything wrong with it.
Is that unnecessary temptation though?
Well, it's only a temptation if there's a feeling.
Okay.
If there's feelings involved.
Okay. Drop a bomb for that.
I agree 100% with you, so I don't have to say anything about it. Like, I'm not the jealous type, so I wouldn't get jealous about you being cool with an ex. My thing is about the respect factor. I've been in a situation where it was one time like he overstepped. And as a man, I'm real keen on protection. For who I am. So
Right.
I was going to take it there. But then I realized that, like, okay, what was the response? You know what I'm saying? When he did overstep, how did you respond to that? If you don't
That's what
respond
matters,
in a
yeah.
way that it respects me, you know what I'm saying, then I need to do what I need to do for me,
Right.
But if I know that you got it, you know what I'm saying, I can calm myself and find reason, you know what I'm saying, and move on from it. But this is what we're doing going forward, so it depends on, how the situation is handled from her end,
Okay. That's good.
and I move accordingly.
It's about how she responds. Amen. Love that. Love that. Okay. Well, I'll ask y'all. I'll ask y'all this question. So I ain't gotta answer none. All right. So your bae has been acting suspicious. I got this from one of Tone's dating games. Your bae has been acting suspicious, right? Y'all kind of answered this too already, but your bae has been acting suspicious lately. In the middle of the night, you wake up and realize they left their phone unlocked. What would you do? Would you go through it or no?
You want to go first or me? I
Which
know
I
my,
had that.
I was just
ding,
talking about
ding,
this, so I know
ding,
my
Okay,
ding,
since you was
ding,
just talking
ding.
about it, that means you have
Mhm.
more to say than I do. So
Right, so you go first.
I don't check phones. I don't believe in it. Usually how God did it for me, I'll have a vision of a dream or a message. When you are so tied to someone, because people think that you have to physically, be intimate with someone in order to be soul tied. Like, no, you can be soul tied emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, which is
believe
from
that.
all those standpoints. So usually if there's a connection that's being severed, my soul responds in that way. So I'll have a dream or a message that kind of identify that this is going on, that is going on. And then at that point, I would kind of like pay more attention, to things and identify it that way. I'm not a phone guy, I'm not going to go through your phone, because 9 times out of 10, too, in today's age, people hide things very well.
Right.
I don't got time to play Sherlock. Like,
Right.
for me, it's like
That's true.
either, I trust
There's
you
all
or I
type of
don't,
apps. Yeah.
then let's go accordingly. Other than that, then I'm not wasting no time. That's childish to me. I believe that's highly childish.
Time of God, not going through the phone, not going through the phone. Simone.
All right. So from a woman's perspective, because I know that there is emotion involved with that type of a
Mhm.
thing, I 100% do not believe in going through phones. I am the type of person where I will literally look away. Like,
Right.
I do not believe in going through phones at all.
Right.
From a woman's perspective, because like I said, I know that there is an emotion that is attached to that.
Mhm.
I gave myself a rule. So my rule is, the day that I feel like I need to go through your phone, or the day that I have the temptation to go through their phone,
Mhm.
is the day that we're done. Because that
Amen.
means
That's
that,
not a fair thing.
well,
That's not
I
fair.
say it in terms of a
understand.
trust factor.
Yeah.
So it's a trust factor thing. So with me, and again, this is an opinion, this is a rule that I have for myself,
Mhm.
because I know myself.
Right.
So myself is, if I'm tempted to go through it, like if it's sitting open and it's just here, right? And I have a temptation to go through it, that means that there's some part of me that don't trust you, don't trust what's going on. And for me, I've had that problem before of trust, where I wanted to hold on to something, but I 100% did not trust the person anymore. So that's like a personal rule that I use of, hey, if you want to go through his phone, that means you must not trust him. And if you don't plan on building, I'll say that. Let me rephrase it. I'll say, if you don't plan on fixing the trust factor,
Mhm.
then it's over with.
Well, I say that because, okay, let's look at it from this standpoint. That's why I say you don't leave room for fairness in that aspect for you to say, because I feel like,
Mhm.
because it's temptation, and today's age, there's an energy out here about that, right?
Mhm.
As far as distrust that moves, right? So even if you can trust somebody, I ain't doing nothing. Like the phone right there, the thought is going to come regardless, of the fact.
Mhm.
So if you go, because most people can go off of routine. So let's say his routine changes a little bit. You gonna automatically question, what's going on. You're gonna have some type of feeling of distrust because his routine changed a little bit. It can be a tone or whatever the case may be, but he can be real life going through something, you know what I'm saying? That just takes you to be patient enough before it's approached. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to you saying, all right, he been acting a little weird, so his phone right, I don't trust him. I ain't been trusting him. No, that I don't think that that's kind of fair. I think that you can identify when it's someone else.
So do you think in response to that,
Mm.
do you think that would go for if there's communication as well?
Well, some people are reluctant to communicate right away when they don't know what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, like, people like to have something. So when I come to you, be like, okay, I'm going through this,
Mhm.
right? This is what I need from you in the process. So some people kind of refrain from that. That's why I'm saying, depending on the person that you're with, you would know, you know, how they handle situations or moments. But I don't think it's warranted to dismiss them because you feel like, you know,
Well, that aspect for me. Like, I've used it more of like a cheating base
Right.
because
I understand
That's
what you're
trauma,
saying.
though.
it's like
That's trauma.
it's like
understand what
if I
she's
feel like
saying,
you're
though.
cheating, I
If
can't.
she
I
feel
must not trust you
right,
enough.
I understand what she's saying.
Yeah, like-
and don't tell me no
listen,
woman tuition. 'Cause we ain't
No,
gonna go into all
no,
that.
that's not what I'm using. Well,
it's like she's no longer secure with this person. No
right,
more.
like
Right.
I'm no
If
longer
I have
secure in the
any doubts,
relationship. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that based off of his routine
No,
changing?
it would be
Something that
based
you're
off of-
accustomed to is
so-
changing. So your natural response would be
Mhm.
for you not to feel
I'm
comfortable.
going
No,
through
it
his
would be
phone,
based off
y'all.
of it would be
Well-
based
Going
off
through
of
his
communication.
phone.
So
you biased.
I don't
You
know.
biased.
Yeah.
Bro.
because
when I
everybody
use-
got time. Listen,
when I use the
I'm going through
communication
it.
factor, I'm saying it in terms of from me.
Mhm,
So if your routine is off
mhm.
and you're starting to move a little weird,
Right.
before I even get to that whole factor of putting the scenario together, I would have come to you already.
right? I
And
feel
then,
that,
like,
'cause she
hey,
feel like she
This
shouldn't
is
have
off
to.
a little
Right.
bit. Are you okay? Like
Right.
putting it more in the
Yeah, but
terms
his
of, is
response
something
can be
okay?
genuinely, he's going through this, and X, Y, Z, right? But
Right.
for some people, that don't change the feeling.
I'm not some
But
people.
why aren't you
For most
communicating that
most
with
people,
me?
though, most people.
But why aren't you communicating that with me? You
But
know
that's what I'm
We're
saying. She
supposed to
just
be
said
one.
she
I
came and
would
communicated
communicate
with him.
because they may be someone who's
Right.
working through that or
Right.
have a problem with that.
Right. That's true. Yeah. See.
Stop this topic right here because it's the whole episode.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna just say
Yeah.
real quick that I am gonna go through his phone simply because I'm a woman that I want my man to know where I am. So I want my tracker GPS thing on. Like I if
Just not
something
have
no,
passwords, no
listen to
nothing.
me.
Yeah.
No, we not. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't even think it should be. I'm looking for something. Like my phone is gonna be open. He can look through my phone. Are you looking to kind of check on me, or are you looking because it's okay to look? You know, like it shouldn't be an issue because it shouldn't be an issue for me to look. There shouldn't be anything for me to find. Just like there shouldn't be anything for him to find in my phone.
No, I get the
Everything in
safety
this
of
house
it.
belongs to me,
I believe
including
it's
your
the
phone.
safety.
I ain't got time
But
for
what
y'all.
in the back of your head made you decide to say,
See, and I don't think it should be that.
Right.
I don't think it should be that type of thing. Like if we're together and we're really like married and about to be married or any of that, I just don't think that should be an issue.
But
If
why
there's
would you even
some-
want to go in messages?
like
Like,
why
what's the
not,
purpose for
though?
safety? You don't
What
need
if-
to be in messages for safety.
You know
I mean,
how
it's not about
view it?
safety.
But I'm saying that
just
was like something
why
you-
not? Like
That's-
I might be like, baby, I see what you and blah 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 was talking about. Like that was funny. Like why not?
you have to do that?
Right.
Now this is not something I'm saying I would do on a regular basis, but
You
why
said you going
can't
through
I?
that
But
phone.
why
You said that
can't
with
I?
sternness. Like I'm going.
Why can't I though? He can go through my phone. Why is it an issue for me to go through your phone?
If y'all go-
Because this, like I said, this will be a whole other topic for a whole other show.
We gotta
Jump
dive
on this
in.
one. Okay.
Is you on the mic, Tom? I need you on the mic.
No. I'm
Can
not
they
here.
hear you?
They can hear me, but I'm
Oh,
not here.
okay, as long as they can hear you.
They can hear me, but I'm not here.
Go ahead.
Basically, what we're saying is in so many words. If you guys have that level of trust that you feel that you say that you currently have,
Mm,
your thought should not even be on the phone. The fact that his phone is left there.
mhm.
The only thought should be, oh, babe left his phone. We put it on a charger for him. Or, oh, he left his phone. So if an important text message or phone calls come through and you know who that is, all you're doing is saying, oh, he left his phone. Reach him at this number. The fact that you grabbed his phone knowing he left it and the first thing you went to, let me see the message, that's a preconceived trauma that you're holding on to.
No, I
You're
am
not
not.
supposed to do that.
Listen,
Because
I
I'll tell
am
you right
not
now-
going to be with someone like Simone was saying that I don't trust. If I'm going through your phone because I feel like I need to look for something, I'm already before that even happens. I'm not gonna be
That's
with
trauma
you.
based though.
That's
Like he
what I'm
said.
saying. You feel like you need to do it.
No, I
Prime
didn't say
example.
how to feel. I said I don't feel like I need to do it. I just don't think there should be an issue. I don't. If
I'm
can,
saying you
if I
condemning
can
the man
fold
with the
your
thought and the
drawers,
feeling.
I can go through your phone, and it should be no
You're
issue.
not, I think your
I understand what y'all saying because I can repeat it verbatim. You're saying like me going through his phone, like I'm looking for something that's trauma based from previous experiences and all this and that, but it's not. Like this is, if I feel like I need to go through your phone for that,
Well,
I'm not going to be with that person.
Let me put it in a scenario for you.
Okay.
Because this is
I'm
actually
going through
something
his phone.
I was actually watching a television show, and I kid you not,
Right.
it was during my growth process, but I promise my mindset changed at that very moment.
Right.
I was watching a television show, and there was a scenario of someone who was engaged, and he was planning, or no, they were dating, and he was planning to propose to her. So he's like hiding the messages and like the, you know what I'm saying, the
Okay.
ring, the
Yeah.
prices, like all of those things so that he can go ahead and propose to her. But she was so trauma based that she was like, he's acting weird. He's not showing up here.
Right.
This is locked. This is that. And so she's now going through all of these things just to find out that, oh, it's because he was just hiding the fact that he was about to
Right.
propose to me. So what do you do in a scenario of, okay, his phone may be out or whatever, but it's something that he's planning for you, or a surprise that he has going on for you, but you were such in a mindset of, I'm just going to go through it because it's mine anyway,
and see,
that you kind of ruin it for
I
yourself.
don't look at it like that. I understand what you're saying, and I'm probably gonna be the woman that find out how much that ring is. But I just don't look at it like that. I'm not looking through it because I'm looking for something. Like me and my hubby, probably we end up using each other's phones, whichever one's is closest to us, type stuff. You know what I mean? So I just look at it differently. I'm not looking through it because I feel like, you know, he shouldn't have his private conversations or he shouldn't have his privacy. I'm not saying that at all, but the type of relationship I want to be in is somebody we do share everything together. So I just feel like if I do go through it, it shouldn't be an issue. Not saying that I am every day or I'm, Sherlock Holmes, I'm looking for nothing, because I don't want to be in that type of relationship. But I also don't want to be in a type of relationship where if I want to go through it, that I can't. You know what I'm saying? So it should just be nothing. Like, it should be so nothing that phone is laying there, and I don't even think to, want to go through it or need to. But if I want to pick it up and call somebody, because I can't go call my phone because I can't, find my
You're
phone
trying to
or
disguise
something.
it in the
It's not-
innocence opposed to.
No, it is.
Because
though.
no, I'm saying your original.
The
because
reason being is because I will not, the way I am with my phone. I want someone, I need someone that's going to be like me. Listen, that's all. I need him to be just like me when it comes to those things. My phone is open to my man. And I understand that part about, disguising it and all of that stuff. Hiding surprises, because I like to surprise my man. I love to do stuff like that for him. I get that. But I just feel like if he did want to, it should not be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. Like, why? Why
for
would
y'all
that be
to
an
use each
issue?
other's phone is not a problem. What he's saying is when
If I
it's just
wanna
sitting
go
there.
scroll,
But that's what I'm saying.
why can't I?
Because it's his privacy still. Like, even though we're together,
That
you
would
still
to
have
be
your
between
individuality.
me and him. That would
Right,
have to be,
but-
because we would have each other's. If you got a password on your phone and I don't know your password, I'm not going to be with you.
That's understandable. We don't
1000%.
dispute that. What we're
Right.
saying is, if it's just laying there, right? There's no purpose. If you need to make a phone call, make a phone call, but
Right.
make the phone call. Don't
Right.
go into the messages. Don't go into Messenger or whatever because now you're kind of planting the seeds there for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Although, again, it's like it's innocent within y'all. He don't have a password. You don't have none of that. You can go in there and do what you need to do. But when you're going in there to look for something, because I've seen women that can take a little of something that's not really of something and magnify it
I'm
based on how
"Ooh,
they
look at
feel
my
what their
baby.
intentions
He
were.
ain't doing
And that's-
nothing.
That's the
Look at my
emotion.
baby.
That's the emotion that I was
He's so
saying
faithful,
I'm careful
loyal.
with myself, because I've been there before where it just took a little bit and
Yeah.
I was going to magnify and make it this huge thing.
Exactly.
What was
So
a
it's
little
just
bit though? I need to know what that. There shouldn't be no little bit. Like, I don't have time for this. If I'm not giving no little bit, I don't expect no little bit. Like, I'm serious. My tolerance for that is real thin. I need what I give, and I don't want nothing else. I'm not gonna give you no little bit. I'm not gonna be flirty to this man while I'm in a relationship. I'm not doing those things. So I expect the same thing. The bar is high when it comes to those things. But everybody's, what they require in a relationship is different. I definitely understand two people not going through each other's phones and they trust each other 100%. I understand that. But for me, I also feel like it shouldn't be no issue either way.
To say, give
It
me your
just
phone.
should
Let
not
me
be
count. I gotta
issue.
look the phone.
And he should be just like, here, baby, and give me a kiss on the forehead.
Yeah, but why would
and
you
keep
even want
scrambling
to
the
present the fact
eggs.
that you want to go through his phone? That's
It's
what
not
we're
even-
saying. Because that's
it's-
not a trust thing.
But it shouldn't be an issue.
It's not that it's an issue.
On your side, everything should be so smooth that just the simple
So
fact
smooth.
that you upped and asked for it, you should get it.
Right.
Then you have to look at it from his perspective of
Mm.
what prompted you to even ask this to begin with.
It's Monday.
But you can. That's what I'm saying. You can actually create a potential problem later because he's going to believe that you don't trust him too, and
But it
that's
shouldn't be
And
that
then-
though.
And then
It should not be that.
If
And
that's
he
why it
feels
should be
like-
100% trust.
And it
then-
will be at 3:33 p.m.
Out the blue,
Mhm.
you ask for his phone, or
Oops.
randomly you open his phone, and then even though there was nothing there,
Everything
You
to me
did it.
is intention based. Like, what are the intentions for you going through his phone? My intentions are not going to be I'm looking to find something. Those are not going to be my
You
intentions
want to
because
prove
I
that
wouldn't
he's
be
faithful
with
or
that.
something?
No, those are
'Cause
my
you can't even still
intentions.
prove that through a phone.
No, not at all. Exactly, because he
So-
could still do what he want to do regardless,
Okay.
and they got all type of apps for that. That's
so
but I'm
what
just
is your
saying.
intention of wanting to do that?
Right.
Because I might want to see his conversation with him and his mom or
That's
something,
but that's
or it
that's
should
but
be,
again,
Why would you?
or it should be something. It just shouldn't be an issue in my opinion. For me and my mate, it just should not be an issue. And why is that? Because my phone is available for him. He can
Okay.
go through, he can scroll. I might be telling him like, baby, me and so got into an argument, and tell me if I'm wrong, and read through this.
And
Or I
then-
might show him a picture if he wants to swipe.
Then
That's-
at some
it shouldn't
point,
be
Let me ask you this
issue.
question. This is a very
I ain't got
important
time for
question.
y'all today.
No, because you opened up a great conversation, and we're here for it.
Shout out to Team Till 365,
Let me
Samantha.
ask you this
I'm
question.
cold with changing that subject, y'all.
No, because you're talking to two professional speakers. So, no. So let me ask
Three.
you this question. At what point in the relationship do you feel comfortable enough to be able to do that? Because you cannot expect that while you're still in the dating phase to be able to have free access to somebody's phone.
I feel like at a point that we are exclusively dating, not saying that I'm going to want to do that, but that is a conversation that me and my partner are going to have. That's absolutely a conversation that we're going to have.
Okay.
But when we're exclusively dating, yeah.
I just wanted to know at what point, because if you thought by date 3, you're going to be, oh, babe, let me see what's in your phone. And gonna get
Well,
an
he not
iron.
even going to be bait, at that point. But when you say we are exclusively dating and, we're moving towards that for each other, I just don't think it should. That's
Because
just
the reason
me.
why
It shouldn't
I
be an
went
issue.
back to that was because you said that no matter what, you both should have access to each other's phone, like knowing each other's password. And to me, that is a commitment level kind of a thing, because I could date a woman for 90 days and I'm still not giving her full access to my phone just yet.
I
And
hear
it's not that I'm
you.
hiding anything. It's just we ain't got to that level yet where I feel comfortable enough to give you access to other aspects outside of my day to day.
So let me share 2 situations that I've had with the phones. 2
Okay.
trauma situations.
Exactly. Let's
She's
get that.
gonna
Now let's
prove
get to the
her
essence.
point,
Back to the
guys.
trauma.
No,
That's it.
no,
She
no,
proved it. We're good.
listen, no, listen for real. We're gonna unpack. All right. So the first situation, mind you, I was someone who never looked through phones. But if I got any type of feeling at all that you were doing anything, stop smiling like that. That you were doing anything at all, I didn't need no proof. I would leave you alone. I would cut those ties with no problems at all. So the first phone incident, okay, is when I was dating a man, and he actually, I guess he had trust issues, but he could go through my phone at any time he wanted to. But he had trust issues, and he ended up doing something where he linked my phone to the cloud. He linked his phone to my cloud, so that every single time I got a phone call, and I didn't know, every single time I got a phone call, he saw it. And I should have known, because why your phone ringing? My phone on silent. Any text message, any picture I took, it all went to this man, who also ended up being the only domestic violence situation I ended up having. So that was really, weird to me that I found out that occurred, but he never found anything in my phone. He never found no issues. And I would wonder why he would say, you really are a good woman. You really are a good woman. Yeah, because I'm not going to do nothing behind your back that I wouldn't do in your face. So for me, again, and that's just how I am. I have no issues with any of that. I am solid with my man when you my man. I do not cheat. I don't play no games. I honor my hubby wubby as long as I'm being honored.
So what you found out he was doing?
No, that was a domestic violence situation. So that was the first phone situation, just overall, where it was a phone thing, where someone had access to my phone and they constantly, bless you, and they were constantly looking. They were constantly looking and they didn't find nothing. With me, you're not gonna find nothing. So the second situation was the most recent situation, and I asked God to reveal this man to me. Okay. And literally the next day, and I told Ty, I think I told you too, Tom. Literally the next day, we were together. He ended up, leaving out, left his phone. His phone was on the navigation, so it was unlocked. And I just scrolled, and immediately one swipe, found out he was sleeping with a lot of married women. And that was the most recent person I had dated. Presented himself in one light and revealed another, and God had already told me, God kept telling me to break up and tap in. He said it over and over, break up with him and tap into the spirit. Right. So do I feel like me wanting to, I don't even have a need or a want to necessarily go through a man's phone. I don't think that comes from trauma. I just want me and my man to be so open and honest and in tune with each other that it would not matter, that what if that did make me feel more secure? Not saying that it should, but I just don't think it should be an issue, and he shouldn't have nothing to hide. Do I feel like, I should be going through it every single day? No. Do I feel like I should be going through it to look for anything? No. Do I feel like if I do go through it, it shouldn't be a problem? Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. What's the issue?
Let me add this one last thing, because I believe this is important.
I'll be real honest. I want to be with you.
The whole phone thing, you got to be careful with, because there's people who are in your life that share private things only to you, right? That they don't want other people. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if my phone was sitting there, you can go through, you're invading their privacy. You know what I'm saying? On top of that.
So that would be,
and this is why it's mindful, right? It's just like, be mindful.
Because I feel like me and him will share everything together. I'm real big about, if two people are married, expect their spouse to know your business too. And
I don't think the deep, intimate things you should, because these are other people outside of y'all,
right.
Marriage,
and I get that, but you can't be sure that if you share your information with one person who is married, that he's not going to share with his spouse during bedtime talk. Like, you just can't be sure.
I believe it depends on the situation of, what's going on.
You a minute ago, how early in this dating relationship do you have the expectations to have this kind of capability?
So for him, he kept wanting to be with me. He wanted to move in with me, or he wanted me to move in with him. He wanted to take it to that next level of really like being with each other and all this and that. And I wasn't sure. I kept going back and forth on it. At first I was like, yep. And then I was like, no, I kept going back and forth, and I kept telling you, like, something don't feel right, Ty. And you kept telling me no. And Tone kept telling me no. Like, Tone was like, your energy's being, infected, Jesus. And you kept saying the same thing, like, no, it's a no. You already know it's a no. Even I said no in the beginning.
She just
but
wasn't
I still gave
convinced
it
of
a
her
chance.
no.
Why? Because what we talked about when we first came in, Simone, we see the good in a person. And we're like, exactly. We like, maybe we can, give them all that love and that solidarity, and then they can, treat us. But we can't heal them. Only God can heal. We ain't out here healing these men. They got to go to God on their own. I'm getting my own healing, Jesus. Ain't nobody got time. Drop a bomb. I love the burgundy at the table, y'all. I love it. I didn't even realize all of us was coordinating.
Yeah, I noticed your
a
hair.
bit.
I was like, oh yeah, she had the
Yeah.
thing too.
I know. I didn't realize that.
I'm like, you did it on purpose or something? She's like, no, I didn't even know, because I didn't even know she was
See?
what she had. until we
Coordinating. Coordinating too. So coordinating too. This was good, y'all. Ty, you got any questions? We might not even
Now it's
air
about
this
time to wrap it up.
because I'm giving out too much of my business. giving out too much of my bit. We is not here to give out Lachelle's business.
That's exactly what podcast.
What the heaven? What the heaven? Amen.
No, because you being negative. So that makes it hell.
Over it.
Yeah,
Drop a bomb for a
conversation.
time.
So,
For time.
go share a little bit of yourself.
I'll be sharing a whole lot.
Healing.
Mm.
I'm
You know,
healed,
'cause
Jesus.
There are people out there who probably think about, I gotta go through that phone. And today we may have just stopped them from going into the wrong phone at the wrong time.
If you can't go
Mhm.
through their phone, don't be with them.
No,
At
Watch
least
out for
find out
Lachelle,
why.
y'all. Whoever the man warned.
He already gonna
no,
know.
it's not about going
Shouldn't be
through
an
the phone.
issue.
It's what your intentions are.
I believe
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. Because if you feel a need to go through it, you shouldn't be with that person.
But not even that, because it could just be you.
Mhm.
You are so
Exactly.
thankful for previous situations that you just looking for that other shoe to fall.
No,
looking
because I'm
for
not
it.
looking for that. So
I
that's
didn't
not
say
necessary.
you.
Oh, okay.
See, look at you.
But some people-
See, the flex. We're talking about those who go looking for problems because they don't know they have a good thing. They don't know how
Other
to handle
people,
a
not
good thing.
Lachelle.
You
Okay.
got some people in this world who don't know what love is. So when they have it, it's unbelievable. So they try to do whatever they can to push it away.
Unbelievable. Self-sabotaging. I used to do
It's
that
a real thing.
self-sabotaging back in the day. I don't do that no more.
I
You
did.
know?
I did too, but I don't know more because I'm realizing my worth, you know, and I know that I'm a great partner to have for the right person, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anything y'all want to add, Ty the guy?
I have nothing else to add.
Mm.
The questions, the last question I had with it, y'all would have to dive more into it. I know we getting around that time.
Yeah,
so.
and the questions that I have is a whole show. So
Yeah, we got to do
That
another
means
part.
You got made together.
yes, we do. So thank y'all.
Yeah.
I really do hope that you know, our conversations at this table, you know, kind of help y'all in a sense or help y'all to think about things in a different light. You know, that's the goal, that's the purpose for it all. I hope that y'all comment and give us y'all feedback and, you know, give us y'all opinions about these different topics so that we can, you know, maybe see things from y'all points of views and let us know why y'all think the way y'all think. You know, that's the purpose for it all, for us to have a conversation, to be able to share with each other and learn from each other.
Mhm.
Tis the purpose. Amen for that. Tis the purpose. We give God the glory for allowing us to have these conversations and for getting us through the experience that we've experienced to, you know, to bring these conversations forward. Amen. Amen. So we just want to, you know, thank y'all for joining us. Ty the guy,
Tie the guy. Tie the guy.
the beautiful Simone.
Hello.
Thank y'all for joining us on the Shine Your Light podcast. We will see y'all soon. Until next time.